fellow artists, my name is Lauren. I'm the artist behind Potato Art Studios, and in today's video I'll be going over my color pencil collection and storage. So if you're interested in seeing how I organize my color pencils and what colors I own, just keep on watching. So I will insert a picture somewhere up here of the storage box that I purchased to store my color pencils, and this is the same storage unit I use to store my pastel pencils. I bought this box from Jerry's Artorama, and I'll have the price on the screen. But Jerry's always has sales, and their sales rotate, so basically if you're not in a hurry to purchase the storage unit for yourself or for someone as a gift, I would say just watch the price, and typically it will drop $10–15 over the course of several months, and then you can pick one or two up for yourself at that point. But I would say don't pay regular retail price for it. There will always be a sale. You just have to be patient and wait for it. So this is the top row of my color pencils, and this is how I organize my colors. So if you are familiar with what I typically draw, which are animals, so dogs, cats, etc., I typically draw furry creatures. So the colors that I purchased might not be the colors that everybody would be interested in, because if you'll see through the video that I have a lot of more neutral and muted colors, and that's just because of the subjects that I typically draw. So I am not going to have as many bright colors as maybe someone who's interested in drawing flowers, for example. So this is the top row of my storage, and I have my Polychromos pencils in the top layer, and I would say with my collection 80% of my pencils are Polychromos made by Faber-Castell, about 20% are Caran Luminance, and there's a few assorted brands at the drawer below that you'll see shortly. But for the top row, I like to have my saturated colors first. So I don't really have a very specific order, but in general it goes from yellow to purple. So it's kind of like a rainbow in this section. And after this bronze color here, I have my neutral colors. So these are the colors that I will reach for 90% of the time when I'm working on animals. And so these will be the darker colors, the browns, and the like toned down oranges and greens. So this is kind of the dividing line of saturated and I guess desaturated colors. So this is the top row of my color pencil storage. So this is my second layer of my drawer storage, and again, it's up to this point is my grays from the Faber-Castell Polychromos line. So I have my warm grays in this section, cool grays in this section. This section is kind of the assorted pencils, so I have Caran Pablos and Derwent Lightfast. So I don't have a lot of pencils with those two lines, so I keep them in the middle. And this remaining area is my Caran Luminance pencils. So if you're not familiar with different brands of color pencils, I would say Caran Luminance pencils, and in general the Caran line, is very, very pricey. So for one Luminance pencil, I would say you can buy probably 2 or 3. So when you are purchasing your pencils, you kind of have to figure out what your priorities are. Are you looking to invest quantity-wise to have the most amount of colors, or are you willing to spend more money on fewer colors? So I found a balance where I have about a dozen Luminance pencils, but the vast majority of my color pencil collection is the Polychromos. So you'll notice that on my grays, I actually put labels on them, and the reason is because when I'm working, typically in the evening or nighttime, it can be tricky to tell the different grays apart. So instead of guessing which gray I'm using, because the grays go in an increment from 1 through 6, so the grays go from warm gray 1 through warm gray 6, the cool grays go from cool gray 1 to cool gray 6. So instead of just picking a random pencil, I know that if I'm working with, for example, cool gray 4 and I want to go slightly darker, I can look for cool gray 5 or cool gray 6. So it allows me to work a little bit faster because I can immediately see what color I'll need to use next. If I'm going up or down a level in value, it's very easy for me to find and locate another pencil, whereas if I didn't have the labels, you can tell, especially at night, you might not be able to even tell the difference between your cool gray and warm gray colors. They kind of all look very similar if you're working at night. Another thing I want to mention are these pencil extenders. So as your pencil gets shorter, in order to make the most out of your pencil and also hold it more comfortably, I have several pencil extenders. This one in particular is from Derwent, but there are several other brands available, but I do prefer the Derwent quality pencil holders much more than many other brands. So I will have this particular one linked down below. And also on my Luminance, on my grays, my French grays, I have them labeled FR 1, 3, and 6, and that corresponds to French gray 10%, 30%, and French gray. So this is my second row. My third row of pencils are my Prismacolors. I was fortunately gifted the 120 set of Prismacolor pencils, so I didn't personally pay for this whole set, but I did filter out and pull out the colors that were not Lightfast. So if you're not familiar with Lightfast ratings, basically it's the ability of your color pencil to not fade over time when it's exposed to light. Prismacolors are notoriously not Lightfast, so out of the 120 set, I probably took out about half of them. So this and the next drawer I'm going to show you are the ones that are rated Lightfast of good or better, so they have a lower likelihood of fading. And again, I organized my pencils similarly to my top row, where I start with yellow, go down to purple, and after this point it's kind of the more neutral, desaturated colors. The last row are the backups and Prismacolor grays. So for the pencils that I use most often and I know that I'll probably need again in the future, I have backups here of my Polychromos and Luminance pencils, and from here to here are my Prismacolor grays. So Prismacolor is similar to the Faber-Castell Polychromos with how they label their grays. So I have my cool grays here, French grays here, and warm grays here. So just like my second level where I had my neutrals laid out and grays organized by value, I do the same thing with my Prismacolors. But I have found that the Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils are a little bit more buildable than the Prismacolors, so I've actually phased out using a lot of these Prismacolors, and there's only a select few colors that I actually consistently reach for. So if you haven't seen my favorite color pencil video, I have a video where I basically list my favorite colors from Prismacolor, Polychromos, Luminance, and I give you swatches of all of them. So I will have that video linked up here if it's up already. If not, I'll try to remember to link it down below in the description box. So you'll notice that I had 4 trays, and the storage unit has 3 drawers. So I have actually 2 storage units. So I have my pastel pencils actually in the first 2 drawers, and the 4 drawers below it are my color pencils. So if you'd like to see my pastel pencil collection, I will film that pretty shortly, and then you can check that out. But this is just my color pencil collection. So thank you very much for watching. If you'd enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. If you'd like to see more color pencil related videos, I will have some other videos I had made linked down below about my favorite color pencils and the pencils that I use most often in my drawings. So you can check that out. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you in my next video.